let's jump right into Pro C2. So here's what I'd like to do a little bit today is do a little bit of a boot camp of compression itself. And then I want to really get into Pro C2 and show a lot of different possibilities. Let me start this by saying that Pro C2 is the best compressor. It's the best digital plugin technical compressor that I think that is available, in my opinion. It's the most intelligently designed, and it's the cleanest sounding. And in our school, when it comes to compression, we're really looking at sort of like two kinds of compressors, right? We have musical compressors and we have technical compressors. And an example of a musical compressor would be something like this, right? A UAD 1176. And this one is kind of on the fence because it's a little bit musical and it's a little bit technical. There are some compressors that are even more just musical and not technical at all. And the difference is musical compressors are usually modeled after classic analog gear, and they have a level of saturation to them. They usually have some really quirky designs. They'll be missing stuff. They won't have an attack and release, or they won't have a ratio, or they won't have a threshold. And so we use them, but they've been around for 40, 50, 60 years sometimes. And we use them because of the sound of the circuitry, the saturation, and also because that they're musical. They kind of roll with the music. They're non-linear usually, which means that even though they're single band compressors, they tend to compress different parts of the input signal of the frequency in these very classic musical kind of ways, So we love our musical compression and we love our tape compression. We're big fans of that. And the first thing that we do typically is we will saturate. And we'll either saturate with Soundtoys Decapitator or we'll saturate with a tape compressor, a tape machine of some kind. Do a little bit of tape saturation, some tape compression. And usually after that, we will do some musical compression, which would be 1176, LA2A, DBX 160, maybe Fairchild, who knows, something, very simple, LA3A. And after that, usually there is an instance of reductive EQ, right? Our first EQ is reductive, and we're just taking out frequencies. If the sound has lots and lots of problems to it, we might do that before saturation, but usually that's what happens. And then after that comes our technical compressor. And as I said, the best technical compressor that I've ever seen is this Pro C2. I don't think anything on the market, in my opinion, comes close to, well, they really thought of everything and they made it very visual and they also made it musical and, actually very versatile. So let's take a look here at the layout of this new Pro C2. And it is my opinion that if you become a master of Pro C2, it will change your life. If you just dedicate some time to getting really, 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 really good at this one plugin, your productions will come up in quality and in power. There's no question to me. So, those who were here last week when we looked at Pro MB realized that within these dynamics tools, there's really sort of like 4 tools in the Pro MB, right? There's upward compression, there's downward compression, there's upward expansion, and there's downward expansion. And hopefully people spend a bit of the week just practicing when upward compression would be good, when downward expansion would be good, upward expansion. And of course it's multiband. So that we don't have that here in Pro C2. Pro C2 is a compressor, but when we say it's a compressor, it's a downward compressor. Really, that's what it is in its essence. What does that mean, a downward compressor? Well, a downward compressor means that as the signal uh, crosses the threshold, the dynamics tool turns it down. Right? If once the signal, crosses the threshold, exceeds the threshold, the compressor turns it down. And it is not, just to be clear, it's not multiband, right? This is single band. So it turns the entire signal down. That's what this downward compressor does.